Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome. So let's start. Hope all of you can hear me. Hope all of you can see my screen. Can I get a quick confirmation? Everyone, can I get a quick
Yes, sir.
confirmation?
Yes, Murli.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah, wonderful. Right. So today, as I said before, we'll talk with the terminology. Like, what are the various things? What are the various terminologies that we, use in SAS? And also, we discuss about how to store or how to save a SAS program and how to save data in SAS. All these kind of stuff we are going to discuss. Okay, so first thing, remember guys, let's say if I open any one of my folder for an example, in this, I'm just going with one of the folder where you can see here, I have something called SAS Enterprise Guide. I have something called SAS System Program, correct? So I'm more interested in this particular one. That is how to store a SAS program. For that, I can say, if at all I want to save any SAS program, the simple thing is you can use your shortcuts or you can use your save as options if you are using a tool, or if you are going with a Linux, you can simply go with your VA editor and from there you can save it. By any means, you can save your program, but remember, to identify a SAS program, you always need to mention that your program name dot SAS. So anything with an extension of SAS dot SAS is nothing but your SAS program. We are going to store our SAS program. We are going to store our SAS program with a extension called dot SAS. So in your PC, at any location, if you see any file with an extension of .sas, you can see here, any program with an extension of .sas is nothing but your SAS program, because you always need to identify your program with the help of a extension, correct? If you have XLSX, it is going to be Excel. If you have your .txt, it is going to be a text file. Like this, based on the extension, you are going to identify your SAS program, correct? Any program, any file system. So similarly, when it comes to the SAS, you are going to identify it based on your dot extension. Is that clear to everyone? Any questions on this?
Good, Murli.
Yeah. Okay. Second, then in our case, let's say if I have a tool like this, if you have a tool like this, the moment you run any SAS program, for an example, let me go with any one simple program. Let's say print data is equal to SAS help dot cards, OBS is equal to 10 and no OBS and run.
Murli, I have to say something. Like, is it possible to make the font little bigger, because I feel like through
Definitely.
the window and it's very small.
Oh, definitely. Please let me know whenever you feel like that. So I just increase the font. I'll just keep it as a global font every time. So you can use that. All right. So just give me a second. And this is a bit different. SAS programs, editor options, appearance. Under the appearance, font style, font size, 16. Can you see this? This is okay.
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
You still want me to increase?
I think little more. Yeah, but
Okay.
better than last time.
No problem, no problem. Do that because you're the guy, you're the people who are looking at my screen, so you should understand and you should let me know, like, are you comfortable with this or not? If not, it is difficult for you, right? You cannot follow. It's okay.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, I'm writing a simple program. My objective of this is when I run this particular program, where the log is getting created. That's my whole point is, right? So if I have a tool, I know that this is the program which I can save it as .sas, but you can see that my log also as part of my window, that is as part of my enterprise guide itself. Correct? The same will happen. The same thing will happen even in my PC SaaS. I have a log window. The log will get generated there. If I have my SaaS Studio, even in the SaaS Studio, I have a log window. The log will get generated there. Right. The overall point here is, if you're not going with this, let's say that if you're not running this on your PC SaaS, on your enterprise guide, on your SaaS Studio, let's say we are running it on a command prompt, correct? Where can I see my log? I can identify the log, or I can see the log with an extension called whatever your program name is there. With the same program name, you're going to get a log file in the same location. Same location from where you are executing your program. Remember this, there are a lot of things need to be discussed around this particular topic, right? I'll tell you. Executing the program. So all these, whatever I'm talking here, these are very, pretty much related to your Linux. Yeah, these are pretty much related to the Linux, because as long as you are going with your Windows operating system, if you are using your PC SaaS or any of the tools, you don't need to bother about where is my program is, where is my log is. But if I go to the Linux, from where you are running your program, that is, you are going to have your path. For an example, my path is going to be something called, my home directory is going to be something ABCD, followed by root, followed by Murali. This is my home location. But I'm running all my programs. Let's say my organization is ABSD. From there, I'm just going to the root. From there, I'm just going with the project. Let's say that this is going to be project X. Under the project X, I have created multiple folders. One of the folder I created is program. Within that particular program, I'm going to have my program file, right? I may construct, or I may guide SaaS in a way that, hey, this is the place where you should go with your program, and this is the place where you need to go with your logs. All the logs, I'm going to keep it on one location called log location, right? All the outputs I'm going to redirect into the another location. This facility will be there in the Linux, right? By default, if I don't say anything, wherever my program is there, so I am executing my program from this location, correct? So in the same location, the log file also will be created. Is that clear up to this? Beyond this, how to change your log file, or how to change your log file name, how to change your log location, how much memory you need to allocate to the log folders, or how much memory you need to allocate to your SaaS program while executing, all these things I'm going to discuss in the miscellaneous topics. Those are pretty much related to your Linux, right? So there are defaults, but other than the defaults, if you want to change anything, if you want to take a control on those things, how to take or how to do, those things will be discussed in the miscellaneous. For now, just as understand that you always going to store your SaaS program with the .sas extension. You're always going to have your whatever the name of the program, with the same program name, I'm going to have the log file as well. Is this clear up to this? Every one of you are comfortable up to this?
Yes.
Right? Wonderful. Now, then it comes to the outputs. So this is program side. So this is program, correct? How to go with your SaaS program. So this is your log. How to go with your log. Now, the third thing is going to be output. So we already mentioned that there are two types of outputs generally SaaS will create. One is going to be a report, then another one is going to be a table, correct? A report is nothing but it can be any report, meaning it can be a direct listing file, or it can be any file type. any file type in the sense, so what I mean by any file type means that can be a HTML. If it is going to be a HTML, it is going to have a .html extension, or XML, or RTF, or PDF, or Excel. It can be anything. You can create any file system of your choice. Whatever the file system you have chosen, with that particular file system extension, I'm going to have a file there. Correct? All of you accept what I'm trying to say? So whatever the file system is going to be, with that file system you're going to have, with that file system extension, you're going to have your file there. When it comes to the table, I also mentioned about a listing file here. Let me explain about what is called listing file. So let's say this is I'm not explaining the syntax for you guys. I'm just going ahead and I'm just creating this. Don't worry about it. I'm going to help you with the syntaxes a little later, because those are not related at this particular point of time. For an example, let's say, just give me a moment. You can see here, what I'm trying to do here is the first part. I'm just printing something. I'm just printing something. You can see. So where this print is getting generated, can I say it's there in the results viewer? That's what we talked about. So program, log, and the results viewer. So by default, it is going to the results viewer. Since it's a tool, you can see the output in a results viewer. Let's say if you don't have a tool, you're running from a command prompt. In that case, there should be a way, right? So this file will be called it as, or this report will be called it as, whatever I can see it in a results window, this report can be called it as a listing file. What is that? A listing file. A listing file will be having an extension of .lst. So it is either a listing file with an extension of .lst with the same name. Let's say for an example, program name .lst, or if you are having anything, let's say if these are my output files. For an example here, my output file I want to create here is going to be, you can see at the end I have written this CSV file I want to create. The name of the file I want to create is class.csv. I'm storing that in this location. Now you can see the moment I run this particular file, right, you can see that in this class.csv file is successfully created. I can see here. Can you see? If I open this, I'm going to have the same content what I can see it on my print file. That is, whatever I can see it on my listing file, right? The same output I can also see here. These are the 5 variables and 19 observations. And also when you run it here, you can see, oh, I have run here itself, right? Let me, yeah. So let me run one more time. Now you can see name, sex, age, weight, and height. Name, sex, age, height, and weight. 19 observations are there. You can see the total number is 19. The total number here also 19. Correct? So can I say that the output I can create in any way I want? Here I have created an Excel file, sorry, CSV file. Let's say I'm not interested in the CSV file. Let's say I want to go with XLSX, the latest version of SAS, sorry, the latest version of your Windows Excel. I can do the same. Let's see. Now it is saying that XLSX file has been created. You can see here on the down. So the first one is going to be a comma separated file. The second one is going to be a worksheet, right? I can create .txt files. I can create a PDF file. I can create a RTF file. Any file system I can create based on my requirement. If not, If not, I can simply go ahead with the listing file that is nothing but the .lst. Clear up to this? Any questions? All of you are comfortable? First one
How
is going
can
to
we
be the
open
program.
listing file?
Sorry?
We open listing file like CSV file. We're opening it through Excel, right? And XLS file we're opening it through Excel. So how can we open listing file?
A listing file, this is specific to your, let's say that in Linux I can create this, not here, correct? So when I want to open a Linux file, let's say that a .lst file if I want to create, I can simply go ahead with vi, that is nothing but your va editor space your listing file. It will display the content of that in your command prompt itself. This is how you're going to type it, right? So you're going to have a command prompt, you have your scroll bar there, your cursor is blinking. You can simply say vi space your program list, that is your listing file. It will display on the screen. If not, you can go with cat and you can list it. If not, you can go ahead with more and you can list. If not, you can go ahead with head and list it. There are so many options, right? All or nothing, but this is just a file system, a file, a simple file. The file can be opened by using a vi editor or by using a cat command or by using a more command, or you can go ahead with your head. There are so many stuff. You can use anything. Clear? Right? So when
Yes,
I
sir.
go with the miscellaneous, when I go with the miscellaneous topics, I have my Oracle VirtualBox with me. In the Oracle VirtualBox, I have CentOS, which is nothing but your Red Hat Enterprise Linux version. That is enterprise version. The commercial version of your RHEL is nothing but the CentOS. I have CentOS 7.2 with me, so I can show you how these commands will be worked there. But I cannot install SAS there because I don't have permissions to do it. But I can show you how to create various files, all the basic Linux commands I'm going to explain there. Clear? So that you can get understanding about them. All right. Next. Right. So this is the what I'm really interested in. I know how to create how to save a file. It is simple. I can just go ahead with Control S, or I can simply go with the file and save as it will down. Create a log file is also easy. Creating a listing file is also easy. But how to identify data, that is nothing but how to store, how SAS stores the data. Remember, SAS stores the data in the form of a table, but here we don't call that as a table, we call that as a data set. Remember this. Ideally, it is a single word, a data set. So from here onwards, I know that, remember, all the time data will be stored in the form of a tables only, anywhere. Data means it will be stored in table. Now in SAS, the table will be called it as data set, right? How SAS stores the data in the form of a table, but I don't call that as a table, I call that as a data set. How to identify SAS data set? What is the extension of it? If you find any file or any table in your PC or in your machine with SAS 7BDAT as an extension, remember this? SAS 7BDAT, that will be called it as your SAS dataset. For an example, so I'm just going ahead with projects. Let me go with any one of the project. Here you can see. Can you see some of the files called SAS dataset, SAS dataset, SAS datasets going on, right? Let me sort it on the time. These are all SAS datasets, correct? And how to identify it? Because it is showing as a SAS dataset as a name, but if you right click on it, if you go to the properties, and you can see that it has an extension of SAS 7BDAT. So in your machine, if you find any file with a .SAS7BDAT as an extension, that will be called it as your SAS dataset. Is that clear? Now, what a table will consist of, for an example, if I open any one of this and assume that this is your table, just assume that this is your table, for an example, right? So if I go and consider this as a table, Just give me a second. Right, this is my table. So I'm just highlighting few things. Let's say, yeah, what you can have, what are these? These
Rows
are
and
called your,
columns.
exactly, your columns. Something's okay. One way I can say is these are my columns.
Variable.
Correct? Sorry?
Variable.
Yeah. Some tables, some in some of the, I can say that, file systems. Let's say that if I go to any of the databases, I don't call them as a columns. Instead of columns, I can also represent them as fields. Correct? When it comes to the SAS, or I can say that generally those names will be columns or fields. These are the names, or these are the naming convention that we prefer. A table consists of rows and columns, correct? Columns in table will be referred as variables in SAS. That is, in general, this is general terminology, and this one is going to be SAS terminology. So in general, we call a table as a SAS data set. When it comes to SAS will treat that as a data set, and a table is the one which comprises of columns and rows. The columns will be called it as variables, and whereas the rows, I can call them as rows, or I can also call them as the records, or generally we go with the rows, right? The rows in SAS will be called it as observations. Few people will be called it as records as well, but specifically speaking, those will be observations. So a table is the one which consists of rows and columns. When it comes to SAS, the table will be called as a data set, columns will be called as variables, rows will be called as observations. Is that clear? Questions? Any questions on this? All right. Okay, perfect. When it comes to the rows, guys, if you see this, I don't have any, I don't have any properties for my rows, correct? Rows are nothing but they're simply filled with the data, correct? 4001, 4002, 3, like this, it's simply stored with the data, correct? But when you see this, when it comes to the columns, columns are not just the names, it also have few things, meaning a column is the one which is going to have a name like this, correct? Specifically speaking, guys, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of it. Whatever I have highlighted here, all this is nothing but my data. This I can simply call it as data, correct? All of you accept that? This is my data, all right? But when it comes to this, that is, let me, when it comes to this particular one, this is not just data. This is not comes under your data. This is something like, yeah, metadata. Any idea, guys, what is called metadata? Anyone? Metadata is not exactly the right name I can give here, but what I can say is like it is a more relevant name. It is the more relevant name. So whatever your light orange here is nothing but your data. It is all representing data. Whatever your yellow color you can see here, this is all representing your metadata. Generally, in general, what a metadata consists of? A metadata consists of name. The first thing is it is going to have some name. These are the names. You can see it here. It also have the data type. What kind of data you are storing there? Are you storing a character data? Are you storing a numeric data? Or if you are going with the numeric, is it int 32, means integer 32 or integer 64 or double, float? Or when it comes to the character, is it a varchar, varchar2? When it comes to the date, what kind of date formats is this? There are a lot of stuff you are going to put there, correct? Suppose if I want to go with a your resp id, let's say that it is going to be varchar2. I'm just telling you. When it comes to the represent id, all those are numbers only for me, correct? I simply put integer, right? I simply go with integer for the remaining. And when it comes to the third one, that is nothing but the length. The length also very important, meaning let's say respective id, sorry, your what is it, representative id. Let's say let's say student id, just say your registration number or student id. My student id, let's say it should not exceed 10 characters. For an example, I'm just going with one, 03H05E0205. This is my roll number. This is my engineering college id. Each one has specific number, right? 03 is nothing but which year you have joined. H0 is nothing but under which university you has come across. 5A0 represents your college, and 205 is going to represent your number, correct? So this is my total length. So any student in my which who comes under that particular university, entire university will have the same length. For an example, if I calculate the length of this, this must be, so 10. So all the entire university have the same numbers, correct? The number is going to be 10. So maybe the institute name, the university name will change, the university number will be changed. Let's say for me H0, some other it is going to be X0 or Z0 or anything. 5A0 is going to be my organization, for someone it is going to be different. For me 205, for the next person it is 206, and keeps changing. But it should not accept any numbers beyond 10 characters. It should not accept if the total length is less than 10. Am I correct? Then only it is going to be a valid student ID. All of you accept that? Whatever I'm trying to say, is that making sense? Why I should define length? Is that clear? Is that clear to everyone? And also, why should I define the data type? For an example, group XID or score. Score must be integer. I should not have score as ABC. I should not have score as PQRS, correct? I should not have score as some special characters. It is meant to, score is the variable which is meant to store only the integers. If I don't define, or if I don't put such constraints, I may go with some irregular data, or my data is going to be a mess. It is very difficult to clean it after. Am I correct? All of you accept that? Why I should define that character? Why should I define the data type? Why should I define the length? Every one of you are clear? Can I get a quick confirmation?
Yes, Manoj.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay. Now the next thing I want to discuss is why I brought this particular topic here is only for the columns I have the data type and length, all these constraints. For the rows, do I have any constraints? No. Whatever I have defined as a column, it should follow the same things here. It should be 10 digits, means it should be 10 digits, right? And also, if it is going to be a varchar, means it's supposed to be varchar. In that way, I simply load the data. But where I'm putting those constraints, I'm putting those constraints only for the columns. That is nothing but the variables. So I can say that in SAS, I need to take care of something that is nothing but I need to understand these variables, right? Because here is what I'm just going with the differentiation, correct? So when it comes to other data sets and when it comes to other databases, I have so many things here. Oracle has a specific format of Oracle support a specific data types, whereas your DB2 will be the one which will support different data types. The data types for each of the database is different, but most of them are common, but each vendor follows their own uh, metadata. But when it comes to the SAS, there are only two types. There are only two types. Either it should be a character or it should be a numeric. That's it. I don't have anything. Whatever the data you want to fill in, whatever the variable you want to define, whatever the metadata you want to fix, that should fall under only two data types. Either it should be a character or it should be a number. Is that clear? So how many data types I have in SAS? I just have two data types in SAS. So either I can call this as variables or data types in SAS. So I have only two data types or I have only two variables. One is either it can be a character variable or it can be a numeric variable, or the variable data type is either a character or a numeric. Is that clear? Only two data types. I don't need to worry about floats, in32, in64, or varchar2. No, doesn't require. You can simply go ahead with two data types. One is going to be character and another one is going to be numeric, right? But you must understand what should comes under numeric and what should comes under character. All right. So if you're comfortable up to this, I'll proceed with what and all the things which falls under numeric and what and all the things which falls under character. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wonderful. Let me go ahead with that. And you can also see that here, guys. Let me open any one of the data sets so that it will be easy for you as well to understand. I'm just opening any one of the data set for an instance. So this is one of the data set, right? And you can see here, I'm just going to the properties. Under the properties, I'm just copying this. Don't worry how to do this and all, I'll explain. Check this. What you can see there. Let's forget about formats, informats, labels and all. Just forget about it. Just go with this. Is this what I have talked about just now? So any table, I'm just going with three things. Number one, name. Number two, data type. Number three, length. So my name of the first variable is going to be name itself. It has all the names. So name is a character. The length of that is 8. Number two, sex is the second variable. It is also a character. The length equal to 1. Age, height, and weight. All these three are numeric. The default length is going to be 8. So I'm defining these three things. Correct or not? Let's go and check another table. For an example, this is a big table, I can say that. And again, I'm coming back here. I'm just going with only the interested part. I'm not interested in the remaining these three. I'll talk about these later, but I'm more interested about this. And also you can see here clearly for each of this, the name is there. Either it is going to be a character or numeric is there. Currency is, don't worry about it. Currency is also a number. It also falls under the number, right? And you can see here length is also defined here. So for most of them, it is 8. And you can see there are 6 and 5s. There are 13 and 40 as well. Correct? So all I'm trying to say is my data set will be having only two things which I need to understand. The first thing is going to be the name. The second thing is going to be the length, right? And third thing, which is very most, I can say that most important thing, which is nothing but the what type of data you are actually storing. Either are you storing the numeric data or are you storing the character data? Is that clear? So can I go ahead and explain what comes under character and what comes under numeric? Because these are some of the examples I just want to show you before I explain about this particular one. All right, so let me start. So we talked about two things. What are they? So we started with, a character data and also numeric data. That is what falls under character and what falls under numeric. This is what our interest is. Correct? All right. First thing, generally what I can store under the character? Anyone? What type of data I can store it under numeric variable, according to you?
Numeric variable, the numbers.
Numbers, okay. I can say that all numbers. All numbers ranging from, can I say 0 to 9? All right,
Yeah.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. What else? Anything else I can store here? Do you think of anything else?
Symbols.
Sorry?
Symbols.
Symbol.
Age.
Okay, symbols means, again,
Symbols
there are a lot
comes
of,
in the character.
see, these are all
Age.
symbols, correct? These are all symbols, right? So what symbols you can store it as number? Can you store all these numbers, all these symbols, or anything
Plus,
specific?
minus.
Exactly. I cannot have all these symbols. I cannot have all these symbols, but I can definitely have plus, because I just need to represent that as a either a positive. Oh God, 1 second, guys. Let me keep it in the text. To represent a positive number, I can make sure that it is going to be, it should accept plus, correct? And it should also accept minus because it's a negative number. It should also accept dot. The reason why it should accept dot means it has to go ahead with the, just give me a second, it is not accepting this. Let me put it as a text. So I can have a dot, I can have plus, I can have minus. Why I can have these three means, because if I want to store a number 123.45, 12.45, dot is a decimal point. If your numeric value or if your numeric data type is not accepting your decimal point, then I cannot represent this, correct? If I want to put 12.45, it should accept dot, right? This is plus, that is plus 12.45. There are occasions where I need to put minus 12.45 as well, a negative number. If I want to represent a negative number, it should be able to accept minus as well, correct? So for that reason, I just mentioned that I can go ahead with any of your these three. I can say it should be able to accept the dot, it should be able to accept the positive sign and also negative sign. Am I correct? Anything else you can think of?
So why should I accept the plus symbol?
Because here by default it is accept 12.45 means it is plus. By default we know that, right? But in some cases, you need to explicitly mention that it is a positive value. In that case, I need to go ahead with the plus, right? Wonderful. Then how about characters, guys? Okay, can I put all these three things as metric is nothing but type of data, what type of data it will accept, correct? So when I go with the type of data, in general, these three are coming under your numeric. Okay. Now the question is, what are all the various things which falls under character then?
Murli, I have a question. Like in the numeric variables, the numbers that we enter, like how long we can enter, like
The length you're talking about.
Yeah, the
I'll
length.
come to that. I'll come to that.
Is there any exponential form that we can do in the numeric things?
Yes, yes, yes. I'll come to that. I'll come to that. My second parameter is that I'll come to that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. How about this, guys? How about a character data type? What and all it can accept? By default, I can say all alphabets, correct? Starting with A to Z, either in the uppercase or in the lowercase. Correct or not? All characters, all alphabets comes there. Correct? Second, can I say all special characters? All special characters, whatever you can see it on your keyboard, all of them I'm going to represent there. May I know like why I have to go with all the special characters? Why a character variable need to store the special characters? Any idea? Anyone?
What's the question, Murli? I'm sorry.
The question is why should I store or why should I go with special characters under a character variable? To store what type of data you need special characters? Okay, for an example, I want to go with an address. Address will have most of your special characters, right? You're going to have, let's say my address is going to be 13 bar 4 by
/ yeah.
22, or if I want to represent something like a hash some 501, or I want to go with ms, correct? So my address is going to have all most of my special characters. If I want to represent address, this is one of the classical way or a classic example where I need special characters to be stored, correct? Now I'm asking one more question. I'm going to say that even the numbers I want to store it as a character. Even the numbers I want to store it as a character. Some situations or in some scenarios I'm forced to store my numbers as a character. Can you tell me why and what might be the situation? Anyone?
Like percentages.
Like
Mention percentages.
percentages are not part of my characters, because percentage, I understand what you're trying to say. So I can simply put percentage, even the same percentage symbol, SAS will not consider percentage as a numeric. I'll come to that. Those are non-standard formats. I'll come to that. I'm asking, what should I store?
Date,
Sorry?
month and year. Date, month and year.
Okay, date, month and year. Okay. Okay, even in that case, I'm going to use special characters, right? Let's say if I simply say today's date is going to be 27/1/2021. If I put this, SAS can treat this as a number. It won't consider this as a date. It won't consider this as a date. I'm asking, okay, let me go ahead with this. Why should I store this as a character? I'm telling all these are numbers.
Yeah, the phone number.
Wonderful. Okay, let me go ahead with the phone number as well. Let's say 98480123445. This is my phone number, some phone number. Why should I store this phone number as a character? Why? Why should I store? Question is, this is going to be a character, no doubt about. This is going to, these are all numbers, right? My question here is, why should I store this numbers as a character?
Because numeric length might not be the 10 numbers.
Who said so? I can, let's say that I'm allowed to go with 20 length. In that case, can you come across one scenario why I want to store numbers as a character? Wonderful. I got two answers because it has no significant value. This is one answer. The another answer is it is based on the service provider. No. Okay. Still, yeah, some meaningful answers. I can accept them, but technically speaking, guys, okay, let me go ahead with two examples, and based on that, you try to answer me. One is phone number. I try to save this as a character instead of numeric. I'm also going with another example. Let's say this is going to be employee ID 0012345. 0012345. So this is employee ID. This is employee ID. I still want to store this as a character. So I'm just going with the third example, zip codes. Let's say for an example, there is one zip code. Okay, let's say the current zip code where I'm staying, let's say 500084. I still want to represent this as a character. All these three are numerics, pure numerics. But still, I'm interested to store them as a character, but not as a numeric. Any idea why? What do you understand from these three? Okay, let me go ahead. Remember, guys,
So maybe because these numbers are specifically assigned to a person, maybe.
Go ahead. Still, you guys are close to the answer. Please proceed.
Is it a
Numeric all
constant?
are
The phone number is a I mean, like we cannot change the phone numbers, right? So
Okay,
numeric all are comes
let me tell you one thing.
serial
Let me
number.
tell you one. Okay, let me tell you. Just give me a second. Let me tell you one thing. Let's say this is my salary. This is the age. Let's say for an example, 34, and some salary. I'm just putting that. Okay. These at any cost, I'm going to store it as numbers only. But these, I want to store it as a character. So what do you find the difference between these two?
those are constant. They will not change. The zip code will not change. It's a constant. I mean, I'm not getting the word, but the zip code will be the same forever, like for each and every place. So that's why we are considering it as a character.
Okay, Mahindra, you're close to the answer. Mahindra's answer is that this number does not require to be interact, means any mathematical. Wonderful. That's the way I can say, guys. Most of you are trying to answer the same, but you haven't put it in the right words. But yes, the answer is, see, if I find the person's age based on the age, for an example, let's say I want to take one LIC policy. The LIC policy guy is going to calculate something based on his age, correct? I want to go for some loan. When it comes to the loan, he's going to ask me what is my salary. Based on the salary, he's going to do some calculations and he's going to say that, hey, this much is your eligible amount. Let's say I want to calculate some interest. The interest I'm going to calculate based on the number of days or number of months or number of years. So I can say that any number is involved in mathematical calculations. You're going to do some calculations on top of it and you're going to calculate. I'll ask you, hey, what will be your age in the next 5 years? So now your age is 34. After 5 years, what is your age? You're going to add 34 plus 5. Hey, I want to give 10% of your salary as a bonus. You're going to multiply this with 10 by 100. Correct? These are involved in mathematical calculation. Do you think your phone number is involved in any mathematical calculation? You're going to multiply, sum, divide, or subtract, or addition, add anything to find a new phone number? Hypothetically not possible, right? Employee ID. Employee ID is for the reference. You're never going to do any calculations on top of it. Zip code. It is going to represent a person's place. You're not going to do any calculations on top of it. Correct? So though these are numbers, I want to avoid someone accidentally performing mathematical calculations on top of it. So though these are the numbers, I prefer to store them as a character. Am I correct? Is that making sense? Anyone? So not only this, you can extend to anything. Wherever, if you feel like though that particular field is of numbers, right? But I'm 200% sure that I don't perform any mathematical calculations on top of it. In that particular case, I can happily define that as a character than in numeric. Any questions from anyone?